it pays to have credit.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
It pays to have good credit.
Yes, it pays to have good credit.
You would always want to be on the side of having good credit.
Do you think it pays to have good credit? Jordan, man, thank you so much for joining this episode today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. You know, I couldn't have thought of anybody else to join this episode. Pretty much talking about going from the bad side of credit and getting on the good side, man, to improving your lifestyle, improving your business. So we're going to kind of dive into some of those details. And look, I'm only going to go as deep as you want me to. So if I ask something that's a little too personal, just swing around those questions, man. Whatever you want to do.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
So before we get into how you use credit to get where Legends Landscape is today, man, let's talk about why landscape. Why did you even choose this?
Oh, man, landscape. Why landscape? Honestly, it's all I really know.
Okay.
If we're going to be completely honest, you say I was about 13 years old.
Yeah.
My mom got sick. She needed surgery and she needed help. And me and my uncle, we went out and cut grass in the neighborhood and we were 12, 13 years old, raised $2,000, $3,000 in the summer. I said, well, dang, okay. And I kind of enjoyed it. But then life goes on. You go through school and everything kind of moves on. And then you get out of all that and landscape was there. And I just stuck with it, and I did the best I could with it, and it's definitely paid off. But it's really all I've really enjoyed doing my whole life.
Okay, so. I tell you what, man, I always tell people. So many people are like, I want to start a business, but they're trying to invent something new or trying to do some Elon Musk type of stuff, and it's just not going to say it's not realistic, but I tell people all the time, man, if you want to start a business, get into the service industry. Landscaping, for example, growing up as a kid, man, on the weekends, on the summer months, man, my dad used to make me get out in that backyard, cut the grass, rake them leaves up in plastic bags. I hate lawn work. I hate flower bed work, man. And I'm sure there's millions of people out there in the world who are just like me, who just do not care about that type of stuff. And, landscaping, man, is a industry that will never, ever go away. I mean, somebody is always going to need somebody like Legends Landscape. But we're going to get into all of that. Let's talk about credit, because I want to transition these questions. If many people have heard or watched the last episode I did with Jonathan Price with Down for Sound, pretty much interviewing him, how he spends $10 million a year on his credit cards and make $200,000, $300,000 a year in cash back. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's a scam, or that's not realistic, or, no one's ever going to do that. So we're going to scale it down in this episode. And let's just, talk about how the average or everyday person out there who may not make $10 million, a year in expenses, hopefully this episode will kind of bring things down on a smaller scale and make people be like, okay, well, maybe I can do this myself. Right. So growing up as a teenager, I'm talking 16, 18, let's just say even 20 or 21. How was your education on credit? Were you ever taught about it in school or by your parents?
No.
Okay.
No, I think the quick question or the quick answer is going to be no.
Okay.
I think
perfect.
most people is no. The most education I got, I believe I was probably, like you said, 13, 15. My grandmother, I seen her sitting down writing checks.
Yeah.
It seemed like every week she's writing off checks. And one day I asked her what she was doing, and she told me, I'm paying off credit cards. But she said she's sending $25 checks because that's her minimum. And,
right.
That's not really paying off credit cards, but as far as education, all I had was, hey, you got to make your minimum payment.
Okay.
So other than that,
right,
nothing.
Perfect. And
nothing.
Look, and that's how everybody is, man. Owning a credit repair business, I get so many people on the phone every single day. In that very first line, man, I was never taught anything about credit. So just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, we're going to transition these questions, man. And there you have it. You was never taught anything about credit. You never had anybody give you a silver spoon or put you as an authorized user on your parents' credit cards. And you was born, out of your mom with an 800 credit score like some kids today. So there you have it. So let's talk about your young adult life. Let's talk about, 21 through 25. Have you witnessed your parents using credit for buying homes or buying cars? What was your introduction to credit?
My introduction to credit was I got my first credit card. It wasn't through parents or family or anything like that. It was probably like most people, you get on Credit Karma and it says, "Hey, here's you get approved for this." And,
Right.
lucky me, that first credit card was actually a cashback card. 1.5%, the Quicksilver from Capital One. That was.
Did you know what it was then, though? Did you understand it?
I couldn't take care of it. I didn't know what was going on with any of that. But that was the first one I got. And I just, like I said, I found it from Credit Karma, and I didn't. Me and my girlfriend at the time, wife now, but we didn't know what we were doing with that. We both had one, and we'd spend it, and it stayed maxed out for probably 2 or 3 years. And it wasn't but like $300. We didn't know
Average
what was going
consumer.
on. Right. We make our little pay. We always made the payments on it. So we didn't
make that little $25 a month payment.
Exactly. We made the payments, but we didn't know what we were doing or any of that. I mean, really, still at that time, if you want to talk about 20 to 25, there's no... if you want to talk about credit, I did have a vehicle that was repossessed because, I had kids, and then life changed very drastically.
We all went through it.
The vehicle, that messed up the credit. So that's that. If you want to talk about learning about credit, it was probably then when I realized, oh crap, this is about to be a problem for a little while. But no, I mean, my introduction to credit was only on the bad side.
Okay.
There was no good. Oh, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
It was learning from mistakes, basically.
Okay. So before Legends Landscape started, I guess you were working for a previous employer in the landscaping. Okay. So for somebody who wasn't educated about credit, I'm sure funds were tight at the time working for somebody else. For you being a man with kids and a wife at home, what on earth made you think I want to start a business and get away from my guaranteed paycheck every single week or 2 weeks to risk everything, being on the bad side of credit, and start a business? What make you want to change that?
Well, we'll rewind just a hair.
Okay.
I did all that, everything you just said.
Yeah.
And then COVID was also happening at the same time. So in the middle of COVID, I said I'm going to hang up the guaranteed money, and I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
A lot of people
take the risk.
Everyone said I was crazy. Now is not the time. The truth is that we planned this for a while. We sat here and we made mental plans. We've wrote down in notebooks. It wasn't just I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna start a business.
Yeah.
It was something that we've really planned for years. Manifesting.
Yep.
You think about it. It's true. I look at my life. I was just talking to my wife yesterday. A lot of what we've done, we've manifested. We've thought about this stuff 10 years ago, and here we are. But it's just takes planning. We planned it out. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't nothing fresh or new, and the credit wasn't there. And honestly, we didn't start the business. Even still then, we weren't even educated really on credit. It was just take our last few little pennies and let's do this. And I had a great backing, a lot of support that really helped out.
Okay.
But look, it's a rough road, and as you may know already, most people don't know, it started rough.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think you just said what made me want to risk it all. I put everything I had into starting this business, and 7 days before starting the business, everything was stolen away from me. I mean, I had put my 2 weeks notice in. I'm gearing up. I'm going, and I get home one day, and everything but my mower and my trailer was stolen.
Dang.
And nothing caught on camera somehow. I don't know. I still don't know it, but so that's how we started. So you want to talk about risking it all? Boy, we was in a spot.
So getting things started, credit, you're on the bad side of it. You don't have the financial freedom you do now with income and things like that. Your equipment was stolen, man. How hard was that? Starting a business, no credit. You didn't have any type of credit to leverage money to instantly buy new equipment like you can today easily. But how hard was that first year?
It was tough, but like I said, when that happened, I had a lot of support. The overwhelming support to help, first of all, refurbish what was taken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was tough. Honestly, because you think landscape, that's a summer thing, and here I am in August. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this by myself. Not in March when it's like it's supposed to be the popular season. We did it at that time of the year, and I was frightened because even when I was working for someone every winter, every November, December, January, it was rough.
Right.
That was rough living. And here I am. I'm about to just, in the middle of COVID, literally no nothing to my name, just going for it. But this was, like I said, when you planned something out, like we planned it out, and, you know, we thought about all the little details. We didn't just wing it.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit more comforting. And then you just put the skill behind it and you grow and you learn along the way.
Man, whew. I bet that was tough, man. Just piecing things, you know, little by little, because, and I share this with almost every episode I do, man. Thankfully, if it wasn't for me not having good credit when I first started Sturgis Credit Repair, I mean, I probably would just now, and I mean literally just now, be kicking off, man. One of the things I did was just got a high limit credit card and used that 0% interest to pay for all of my marketing. And I mean, those first 2 or 3 months of my business, I've spent more on marketing and investing into my business than what I have done probably, you know. I mean, clearly I've spent more now, but I was way more aggressive back then. And I'm like, look, if this just sucks and it just, I guess, sink, then it is what it is. But man, the way I've made income back to pay off that debt that I spent on that credit card times 1,000, it just paid off using my credit to pretty much finance my goals in life. Literally, I mean, that's literally what I have. I didn't use my job. I used my credit to finance my goals, and I'm living.
Took me a while to figure this out. But
well, there you go. That's my motto there. So, like I said, man, I just used credit to leverage money. I didn't have anything saved up to, you know, I probably spent over $20,000 just getting the business going, softwares, getting the license, getting the education I needed, mentors, marketing. I mean, social media ads, man. I mean, there's so many different platforms, and man, I was able to quit work in 3 months. So, I mean, that definitely paid off. So by you not doing that, I can only feel how hard that was, using, you know, the little income you was getting just from starting things from zero, you know, to kind of grow your business, especially just by yourself at the time, before the employees and the big trucks and the equipment that you have now. So at what point of your business did you decide, I need to do something different? I need to use some credit to make me grow. I need to change something. I'm not happy where I'm at financially with my credit. You know, what changed, or what conversation did you have with your wife?
It didn't take very long.
Okay.
It really didn't take very long once the business started. You kind of sit back and you're like, crap, this is more money than we've ever dealt with. We need to start figuring out where we're going to do with it and use it correctly. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I got with you and started just credit repair. And we started working on a path to really straightening some things out. It wasn't near where my credit wasn't where it needed to be at the time to really kind of be able to take advantage of the credit cards and doing that. But we definitely got on the path to start paying off things and keeping up with credit and applying for more credit cards that were smaller, but then keeping those up to date and kind of growing from that.
Right.
But no, I think the change really came when we sat down that off season, if you will, and we sat with you and we really put together a plan on how we can take care of the debt that we had, which was some medical stuff. We had repos on there. Sturgis Credit Repair, take care of literally all of it. I'm here to say, every bit of it was taken care of.
That just shows your transparency and how honest you are.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't going to go there, but look.
No, I mean, just look. That's what we're here for.
That's it.
It was not great. We had medical bills. We had a repossession of a truck that was lopsided by a lot, and it hindered us for a lot. We couldn't get credit cards, and we didn't know what we were doing, but. If I'm not mistaken, the medical bills came off first.
Correct.
And then we kept working and we kept working. And next thing you know, we nothing really happened. And then my wife signed up and we got going with her. And it was when she signed up is when the repossession came off. And then once that happened, the credit score went up and we were a little bit older. Money's obviously flowing. So we're like, hey, I think now's the time. Now's the time we start taking care of this and really trying to apply and take care of what we have and grow from there.
What was the first thing you did once your credit was fixed, your credit scores were improved, personal and business wise, or maybe you didn't do anything on your personal side, you went straight into business. What did you do as soon as your credit got A+?
Well, it's been up and down. The whole thing is a journey. When, especially as a small business owner, you got to spend money here and there. So your credit sometimes is going to go up and it's going to go down, and you got to balance it.
Yeah.
But the first few things we did was whenever I started seeing some cash back flow in, we started buying equipment. Simple equipment that might be $300-$400 up to $800.
Yeah.
It was free. And this is I'm like, okay, hold up now. Like we got something going here. But if as far as getting the credit together, what I did was my biggest thing I think was being able to apply for bigger credit cards.
Yeah, you need that as a
bigger
business
credit
owner.
cards, 0% for 15 months or whoever's offering whatever at the time. That was really kind of a game changer, and that was pretty recent. That was just a year and a half ago. This is not like we're talking years ago. This was just and that was that getting that credit card. It was a Wells Fargo card, I believe.
Yep.
2% cash back, 0%.
That's the active cash.
Great card.
Yep.
Great card.
I use it as well.
Great card. That allowed us to really start saying, oh, I think it's time to start like making some like investments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was that? What was that initial credit card limit increase when your scores got decent enough? You apply for an increase on your active cash credit card. What was the limit on that?
It wasn't even applying for increase. It was just applying for the card.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
I didn't have the card. Then
I see.
I didn't want to like keep applying for stuff that I deemed that was out of my own where I should be at the time.
Okay.
But no, when I got it together, I applied for it, and I'm thinking, like $4 or $5 grand, because that's basically what everything else has been at that point. And then they hit me with, hey, here's 10 grand,
Insane.
0%. I said, that's how much? Like that's still big money to me. Like that's a lot of money.
Game changer.
And then you see 0% in 15 months, you're like, man, I can do. I need to make sure I spend this right.
Right.
And I did. I ended up buying a new trailer, fully decked out, perfectly set up for landscape, and my goodness, it has been a game changer for the business. Now I have that trailer, I have my old trailer, and that still is on a card that's 0% that we're still working on paying, that we don't even have to think about. Like, you're not going to go anywhere and get a 0% interest loan. You're just not going to do that. So getting a credit card, 0% interest, 15 months, of course I can pay back this in 15 months. I don't have to worry about it right now. Let's make the money.
Plus make the cash back on top of that, the intro bonuses. It literally paid you to invest in your business, and it doesn't cost you anything because it's 0% interest, and there's no loan that would have given you 0% on that trailer, I'm sure.
I've sat down with the wife and I told her, I was like, I think that's what we're going to do, because like I really want a big trailer. Not want, but you need to grow, and sometimes when you're growing, you got to make those sacrifices. And this was a sacrifice that didn't really seem like a sacrifice, because it was free money at the time. We've paid it off, and we're just keep going. And and I wouldn't be able to come up with the $5-6 grand at the time. I didn't have that, so having the credit to be able to get a credit card that's like, okay, well, we trust you with 10 grand because you've done good enough now. Like, this is years and years and years of working up. Like, our credit cards were $300, $1,000, $500. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's tough.
Small,
that's tough. But that's probably what the average person is getting.
Right.
But you keep working on it, and then they see that, and then eventually it just gets up
Nothing
there.
Nothing happens overnight.
No, gosh, no. It's a process, and it's such a learning process, and we're grateful for it, because man, we've learned so much. I knew nothing 3 years ago. Now I feel like I could go teach a course on it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
that's because of you and start your credit repair. I mean, let's be honest here.
I appreciate that. So clearly you've invested with that credit card. Now, man, I mean, 10 grand, that can help out a lot when it comes to monthly business expenses. And I can only imagine, I mean, even groceries these days are high. But I mean, dude, the materials that these customers are, I guess, paying you for, that you're including in these quotes, how do you, I guess, determine how you're buying these materials for these customers' jobs? Are you just paying cash, using your card? How that works?
Well, we use the cashback card, and it's great because we could spend between gas, rentals, material. It could be 30 grand a month.
Oh my God.
So then you start talking about 1.5% to 2%, and then if it's a certain card to where it's like a gas month where you get like 5% back or something, you just take advantage of all that stuff, and next thing you know, it's hundreds of dollars at the end of the month.
Right.
It's
that
we use the cashback credit cards. Normally I use the Chase Freedom.
Yep.
It's a great card for us that we use. That's another card that gave us a big limit, so we kind of worked with them and stuck with them on Chase Unlimited, I believe.
Man,
And,
that's a no-brainer, because let's say if I hired you to do a flower bed or a landscape, and let's say the job is $2,000, instead of you taking that $2,000 and just buying the materials cash or with a check, you just use your credit card and just pay yourself back. You're paying no interest, and it's free money.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
dude,
where
that's literally
great.
that's insane. How much cash back have you made over the last few years you've been in business, and what did you do with it?
Well, I watched your last episode with Jonathan Price, and I can tell you it's nowhere near $250,000. But no, on a real note, for a small, like I said, I don't see myself as some big business typhoon or anything.
Yeah.
Small, reasonable stuff. I mean, over a 3-year span, you're probably looking about 10 grand.
Wow.
And
free money.
Yeah. And it's spaced out, obviously. It's not like someone just put 10 grand.
Well,
in my bank account.
over the years. Yeah.
Yes, and this is you're talking 3.5 years, probably 6 or 7.
People don't
cards.
save 10 grand over 10 years. So I mean, for you to
never
get that
saved
for
10
free,
grand. Yeah.
that's,
So
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, it was over probably like 6 or 7 cards, but that stuff adds up. And then once you get to a certain amount, you cash that thing out. You go buy a piece of equipment. That thing's about to make you money for the next 4 years. You know what I mean?
And you've done that.
And I've done it several times.
Right.
Several times.
Free
yes.
equipment.
Yeah, right there.
Dang. And then I'm sure you travel. I've seen you go to Vegas and things like that, I'm sure. And man, wow, that's definitely that's a great story, man. So you bought the trailer. What else have you bought since improving your credit to, help out with business?
I bought a truck. I bought my dream truck, F-250 Platinum. But
where were you driving before then?
It was a Dodge Ram. And if you want to go even further before that, when we started the business, if you want to talk about humble beginnings,
okay,
I actually started the business out of the back of my wife's minivan.
Wow.
I threw a tarp over the back, and I'm throwing dirt and pine straw and all kinds of stuff
in the soccer mom van.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was part of the plan. Like, we were going to hook a trailer up to it and everything. Like,
starting from zero,
we
literally.
just whatever it took. That was our mantra. We got it from Avengers, the superhero movie. They say, whatever it takes. But that was what we went into that year with, knowing what we were going to do, and it was always going to be whatever it took. Dang. And it was working out of the back of a minivan, and then I just randomly decided I'm going to look online at trucks or whatever, and I just saw one that was in a decent price range. It looked good, and I told my wife, "Hey, look, I think maybe we're going to do this business stuff. Maybe we should buy a truck." And she's like, "Oh, I don't think we can do it." And I had the repo, and I got all this stuff killing my credit still at the time. But we bought a truck, and it was out of our range at the time, but that's what we had to do. It's like I said earlier, you got to take risks sometimes when you're growing this stuff, and you have to really believe that it's going to work. When it's not by luck, it's by planning.
Right.
To get back to your original question.
Oh, the truck.
We bought a truck, and we bought equipment, and I've been able to take care of my employees through the off season. A lot of that's based on just being able to have credit cards and being able to fall back on that in the slow times. But credit's great, man. Bought the truck, bought the trailer, and we're not done.
Now, a lot of people, let's just say just random people out there in the world, man, they see you pull up to a job site to give a quote. They see this big old $80,000 big super duty truck and this big, long, huge trailer. Many people may ask, he claimed he used his credit to get this for his business. That's not for his business. That's for him. What purpose does a bigger truck, a stronger truck, and a much larger trailer, what purpose does, I guess, those two things play in your business life?
Yeah, I know it can look like it's a bunch of big toys and this and that. It's not that. I mean, before I got the truck and trailer I had a Dodge Ram.
Yep.
And a 16-foot trailer, which, we keep stuff on there permanently. Therefore, it kind of cuts down the length to really about a 12-foot trailer that we can really use. And then that would make my truck squat, just that little trailer, you know? So I'm thinking, like, I need more space. But if I get more space, there's no way that this truck is going to carry it. It's going to tow it like it needs to.
Need more strength.
Yes. So it was decision time.
Yep.
And that's when we really started working on the credit. That's when we got the credit, like, A1. Like, we really put the effort into it. And but the truck and the trailer, like, there's times now, and my guys will tell you this themselves because, I mean, they're the one loading up the trailer.
Yeah.
There's times we load up a full trailer. It's 10 foot tall, and it is completely strapped down and strapped in head to toe. And my guys will say, this is like 3 of our old trailers.
Dang.
Think about that. Like, that's 3 trips you'd have to make to dump stuff and drop it off. But we can just put all this in one trailer now, and we got the truck.
No brainer. Yeah.
And then the back of this truck is so much bigger than the other truck. So if we need to put stuff in the back of the truck, it's just way less trips.
Stronger
it's
payload.
Yes, it's optimizing time. It's having 2 trailers now, so one trailer can be on the job site while the next one is going pick something up and switching them out.
There you have it.
It has been worth it.
Wow.
And honestly, if you the numbers for business has reflected it working since we bought it.
Yeah, it's an investment. It's literally an investment for your business, man. Wow.
We haven't had a down month since we got it. And I know it's only been a few months, but it's paying its dividends for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. I see it every day, and I love your hustle, man. You know, you got 2 very strong employees now since you started. You know, the best.
Literally the best.
I love that, man. That's good that you're taking care of your family, your kids, your employees. You know, you're definitely doing the thing, man. And look how much you've accomplished in just a short amount of 3 years? 4 or 3?
3.5, 4 years. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you're not even at the 5-year mark yet. That's insane. I mean, imagine 10 years from now.
Look, I'm thrilled of what we've done so far. Like, it's blown my mind, honestly.
Wow,
so
man.
It's a dream come true for sure.
What's next for Legends Landscape? I'm just curious. What's your ideas?
Next is just constant, steady, smart growth. We have our numbers. We're gonna buy another truck here soon, I think.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep the money moving. But grow smartly. That's one thing. If I'm gonna tell new business owners, it's so easy. Like 3 years ago, and we've had this conversation before. I could have grew.
Oh yeah.
Instantly. I could have hired people, and I would have created this monster too big to feed. Right.
Right.
I didn't want that because I still got to eat. But, like, grow smartly. Some people can afford to grow fast. Like, if you have it, you have the resources, do it. But take care of yourself. Grow your business. Do it slowly. Create a base first that you can grow off of. Some people don't even have a base, and they just keep going and growing.
Right.
And that will harm them sometimes, I think.
I love that, man.
Utilize your credit for sure. Get that, because you're going to need that as a business owner. You're going to have to buy. Something might come up, an emergency.
Right.
You never know what might happen. And a lot of the times, I found myself falling back on credit or credit cards and being able to use the credit to help in those situations. So just take care of it.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, you got so many of those. Oh, cash is king. I'm not going to use my credit for business. Look, if you're in business, you shouldn't be scared of any type of risk. Mm-hmm. You know, starting a business itself is a risk. So, I mean, I don't want to hear any excuse of, oh man, if you use your credit for your business, that's high risk. You know, what if you don't make the money back on your investment? You know, what if you buy all of this equipment for your business? Okay, why are you in business? You know, go back where you came from, go back to your little 9-to-5 job and just keep a side hustle.
Stay comfortable.
Yeah, stay comfortable.
This isn't for the weak. Like, you're going to be uncomfortable 24/7.
Oh, absolutely. Stress, being uncomfortable,
and
worrying.
This is one thing that and this, I guess this is for the smaller business owners as well, who are trying to keep the credit cards going and paid off, but yet still trying to balance that cash flow.
Yeah.
One thing I found myself doing just to make sure my credit stayed right is, like, just to balance out the cards, because you can, I don't want to say manipulate your credit score, but you can pay off a credit card and then know that it's about to report. And once it reports, you're like, hey, I need that money. I'm going to use it. But knowing you're going to pay it off again by the time it comes back around.
Leveraging your money.
Yeah. So it's just like, I'll do that. Like, I'll put in a lot of cash at a certain time and on a card, knowing that I need that cash, but knowing that I'm just going to turn around and use that.
Right.
And then I'll pay it off by the time it comes back around. I call that manipulation. But when you have cash flow that sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's non-existent, but
Right.
you have cash flow. That's the difference when you own a business. You have you have all that cash flow. If you're doing good, you should have
Right.
cash flow, and that's what I use to like, I pay that off, and I might know I need it, so right after
Right.
I pay it off and it reports, I'm going to use it.
Look
But it's
at
just
you,
a
man.
balancing out, though. You got to take care. That's what I mean when you got to take care of your stuff. It's a balancing act. Sometimes.
Love that, man. I mean, just look at you. I mean, look, I don't know much about, landscaping, but man, I feel like you can come in here sometimes and just work at Sturgis Credit Repair for a
I'd
few
love
hours,
to.
man.
I feel like I could too now. I've
Wow.
read the book. My 10-year-old is starting to read the book. I mean,
Yeah, I love that.
it's-
Love that, man.
Our family is
Very
definitely
inspiring.
very educated on credit now.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. The entire family.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was this educated when I was, your kids' age and reading the credit book and things like that. But thankfully, like I said, as my young adult life, I at least, was never on the horrible side of credit. But that, that's
Well, I
that's
was.
good, man.
I was way down there, but
Love it.
It's a process to get up there, and it's so humbling.
Yep.
I love to open up that Credit Karma or look at that FICO
Yep.
score, and you go to buy a truck, and it's like, dang, dude, that looks nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
You're approved, Mr. Jordan.
yeah, and it's just you say that was the moment. It was like, how long I've been working for some stuff, and then you get the
Not an overnight journey,
it's
bro.
like you said, you're approved, Mr. Jordan, boy.
Yeah.
Follow my knees. I'm like, goodness gracious, it's finally like this
That
is
was like
real.
what 3 years of you trying to
For a while, yeah,
look
man.
into that truck, man.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
just dreams and goals and planning but you just said, you're approved, Mr. Jordan. Yes, I remember that feeling, man.
Man, that's a wrap, man.
I'm ready for the next. You're approved, Mr. Jordan.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you keep going,
Yep,
keep
just
growing.
keep
I'm ready
going,
for
man.
the
Love
next
that.
big step for getting that approval.
As long as you're doing something good with your credit, man, I mean, you're never gonna fall back, in a rabbit hole, know.
Right.
So, for people that are watching or listening to this, man, that may be in the southern Louisiana region, preferably Baton Rouge,
Right.
and 225-985, 504, maybe 337 area codes. How do they go about getting in contact with Legends Landscape to get a quote on landscaping?
Oh, that's very easy. If you want to get a quote, you can go to www.legendslandscape.net.
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah, I mean, you go on there. It's very interactive. You want to send us a text, you will text me directly.
Okay.
You can message, you can email, send us your information.
Okay.
You go to the Facebook page.
Yep.
Facebook page has hundreds and hundreds of pictures.
Love it.
That you can check. Different styles, simple stuff, complex things, big, small. You'll see it all there.
Right.
You see anything you like, let us know.
Right.
You can also contact us 225-933-9400.
Okay.
That's also still me directly. You can
you
text
go.
that number. Either way, you're going to get me. Like,
Right.
I'm there. I have help with messaging, but one way or another, you're going to get me on the line or
Right.
on text. And
Right.
it's very easy. And we try to make it as easy as possible. We get a lot of
you go.
compliments on our ease of our website and how we handle things.
Love it, man. I mean, I myself, like I said, I still to this day somewhat still look at landscape as like that childhood punishment chore back when I was like 8 years old. And
Yeah, my grandma
man,
did.
yeah, man, boy, I tell you, if I wasn't in my backyard by 10 a.m. in the morning raking leaves on a fall month or something,
Makes it a lot easier when you get paid for it.
yeah. And man, I went from that, and I even told you this in the past, man. I see some of your pictures on your website and social media platforms, and I'm like, wow. When I build my custom home, I want that landscape.
Right.
I want this big fancy landscape. I want the swirly trees or whatever you call them. And
Yeah, it's an investment. It's really a property investment. A lot of people, when done correctly,
Right.
When done correctly and built for sustainability and functionality. Most people just throw some stuff down there and they just roll with it. But we plant things and install things for functionality, for it to last for years, to where when this plant grows, it's not going to grow into the roof of your house. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things like that. But we would love to landscape your house.
Okay, yeah. Look, hopefully, in the next few years, I get that, and look, y'all be the first ones I call, man. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Just driving into, I can see it now. That long driveway. I got the trees, the landscape, and man, maybe something around the pool if I get one day.
See, that's the kind of
It's a vision.
Yeah, there you go. That's the kind of manifestation I'm talking about earlier.
There you go.
You got to have that vision.
I love it, man. Well, I got one last question for you. Do you think it pays to have good credit?
Oh man, it pays to have good credit for sure. I mean, just in the short time we spoke about having the truck and trailer and what that's already done, and that's only been 4 or 5 months now,
right?
And what that's been able to pay and boost the business. Like, for instance, January was that's supposed to be a rough time, right?
Right.
Our January this past just a couple of weeks ago was higher than half of our months last year.
Insane.
So when you're talking about
off-season
for an off-season, when we have the employees who now know the system, we have the truck, the trailer, the size, the more resources. Did a lot of planning in December when it was slow to how we're going to build this up. And my goodness, I would have never expected the way we've started this year. And I can't help but to say that it's a lot to do with credit.
Wow. And
how I've been able to utilize it.
I love it, man. So, I mean, I appreciate you for joining this episode today, man. I knew some of your details, but man, and I said this in my last episode with Jonathan Price, man, it's like most of the things that I thought I knew, you always find out more when you sit down and just speak to a person that goes deeply into their struggles. And I mean, not everybody's just going to flat out just sitting in a restaurant or, hanging out on your patio for a sports game and just going to tell you all of your struggles and things like that. When you sit down like this, man, you just let everything out, which I didn't expect you to do,
Look, you make it very comfortable here to sit down and have a conversation. So that's kudos to you and your setup here.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, thank you so much for joining this episode. And hopefully somebody out there who's watching or listening may be in your shoes today. Or, your old shoes today. Hopefully they can be in your today shoes later on. Right. Yeah.
I did have one last thing to add.
Okay.
It pays to have credit.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
It pays to have good credit, man.
Yes, sir. Well, take it easy, man.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
If you use credit to improve your lifestyle and would like to share your story on the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast, feel free to reach out to us at info@sturgiscreditrepair.com. Sturgis is spelled STIRGUS, creditrepair.com.